Hello, it's Sarah from Hollies Haberdashery. It's been a little while since I've come to you from my sewing room, and that is because we've been having lots of work done at home. Now, don't get me wrong, we are still having lots of work done at home, but I spent a little bit of time over the Easter break sorting out this section of the house and getting my sewing room and office back under control so that I can start filming some more great content for you. So, in the midst of me sorting out my home office, nothing was left unturned, no bag was left unopened, and I'm sure it will be no surprise to you that we, us sewers, have lots of projects on the go, don't we? So I thought that would be a great opportunity for us to kind of sort our sewing space out, get our sojo going, let's get a little bit more organised, and let's start to work through some of our projects together. So I've come up with this new series, so we'll see how it goes. I have picked out 12 projects that I'm going to talk you through today, which I'm currently working on, and then I'll come back to you at the end of the month and let you know how I'm getting on with them. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to complete all of these 12 projects this month, but I think it's important to have a little bit of variety, because sometimes we want that project that we can just dip into and it's quite easy. Sometimes we want that project that's portable, but then again, sometimes life gets in the way. So I hope by me coming on here showing you my projects that are half finished, or my projects that I'm working on, and then coming to you at the end of the month and giving you an update on how I've progressed or how I've not progressed, it will help spur you on that, you know, you're not the only one who life gets in the way, and then sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get our projects finished. I was quite alarmed with how many half finished projects I had, but let's work through them together. Now, I know there will be certain elements as we go through this series that will be a little bit frustrating for you, because some of these projects have been ongoing for me for a little bit of a while, which means we have now not got the fabric anymore. But in the comments below, I will put suggestions of similar fabrics, and you can of course ask any questions and I will do my best to get those answered for you. So let's delve into the projects that I'm going to be working on this month, and we'll see what we can get completed. So the first thing that hit me when I unpacked one of my bags was a beautiful dress that I was making. It was a Sew Over It dress. It is the wrap dress. So I can remember making this, and I was attaching the binding around the neckline and my bobbin ran out, and for whatever reason it just got put to one side. So from memory, now I need to get the instructions back out just to check that I'm right. From memory, all I've got to do is finish sewing on the band around the neck down to the hem. I have got 2 sleeves to pop in and then do the hem, and that is a finished dress. So this is the first thing that I'm going to be working on. Cannot wait to get this finished. It's obviously very me. It's blue navy jersey. So yeah, really excited to get that one finished because I loved this fabric, and like I say, this is the first one. We don't have this fabric anymore. Really sorry, but we do have a great selection of jerseys, so I'll link to the jerseys below. So yeah, so this is the first thing that I'm going to be working on, and getting that Sew Over It jersey dress finished. The next thing that I'm going to be working on, well, I think I'm going to be working on, not quite sure if it's going to work. Sometimes we have these ideas and I think that may just do it. So this is one of those ideas. When I was sorting through my stash, we all do this, don't we? This just isn't just me, is it, that does this? We cut a garment out, and when we have big chunks of fabric left, we think, oh, I can use them for another project. That isn't just me, is it? And I have got 2 jersey bits. I mean, these pieces are really big. So what I've done is I've got the Poppy and Jazz Pansy dress pattern, which is a child's jersey dress pattern, and I'm going to see if I've got enough fabric here to make Emma, who is my youngest daughter, she's nearly 4. I'm going to see if I can make her 2 dresses out of these fabrics. So this is a possible 2 makes. Not sure if it's going to work, not sure if I've got enough fabric, but we've either got to use the fabric or it's got to go, hasn't it? So these pieces are either going to be big enough to make a dress, in which case we're going to have 2 garments, or they're going to go into the scrap pile. So that is our first 3 garments. Our 4th garment for this month, again, might just be planning this one as opposed to making it, but I am going to make the Davenport blouse, and I have got this gorgeous viscose. I've gone ahead and pre-washed this ready. that I'm going to make the Davenport blouse in. So very similar to kind of what I've got on now really, which is where I got the inspiration from when I discovered this fabric in my stash. But like I say, we'll see how far we get with that. I'm not thinking that's going to get finished this month, but we can at least get the pattern cut out, get the fabric cut out, and that may be something that gets sewn next month, but that is certainly on the agenda. So there are 4 garment sewing projects for this month. We'll see how far we can get progressed with those. Now let's have a look at our quilting projects. Okay, so I have a basket here. I've tried to group my projects into little baskets or little tubs so that I can keep everything together and I can go, right, well, I'm going to do a little bit of work on that project. That's how I am deciding to tackle these. So this basket here, I've got 3 quilts. Yes, 3 quilts in progress. So one is, so these are all charm pack quilts from our Tilda collections. So we've got a Windy Days one, which I'm sorry we don't have any more Windy Days charm packs left. So again, sorry, really frustrating. We've got a Cotton Beach charm pack quilt, which we have a few of those left. I'll link them below. And a new Jubilee sample for Tilda's last collection, Jubilee. So we've got 5-inch squares. Some of them we've got sewn into like piles of 2 squares. So that's 3 quilts in various stages of construction. So I'm going to work through those, see how far we can get going with those. And what I like about doing these particular quilts and why I can work on 3 at the same time is I will sew them all into 2s first, and then I'll go over and then another day I'll do the ironing and work it through in stages like that. And I find that's quite good to get going. So I've kept those all together in one basket because that's something I'll work on all 3 together. The next project is another quilting project. Shamefully to admit, this project here, I was making this for my youngest daughter Emma's 1st birthday. She will be 4 this July. I know, it happens to us all, doesn't it? Make me feel better, it's not just me. Life gets in the way, doesn't it? We move on to our next projects. So this is made from Tilda fabric. You're noticing a bit of a theme here, aren't you? We don't just sell it because we like to sell it, we sell it because we love it and we love to work with it. And this is a quilt that I designed for her. We may do it as a pattern one day, who knows? So this is in the Tilda Woodland range, and I fussy cut the centre of the stars for her with the animals. So this is all sewn together, if I can remember rightly, in rows, and then it just needs the rows sewn together. And then the last row making, I think that's where I got up to, the last row to sew, which I'm assuming is these bits in the bottom of the basket. And then all the rows just need sewing together, so it'll need a good press. And then we can get that all sewn together. So that is 4 quilting projects. Now we have a wild card in here. Disclaimer, this isn't my project. But I'm going to keep it out on the desks because this is actually Holly's project. So Holly is my eldest daughter. She will be 11 in October, and she started this some years ago if you followed us on social media. She cut out all the fabric into 5-inch squares and then started sewing them together. And again, she's got this in various stages of construction, but you know, she's done so well with it. I mean, look at those points. How good has she done? I think she was about 8 when she was making this. But she would always come and say, oh mummy, can we do a bit of sewing? And it would always be when I was in the middle of doing some work or cooking tea or just general life. And then it just went into a corner. So she's got loads of different squares all sewn into different stages. So I'm going to leave this on the side, see if she notices it and asks to do some more of it. I'm not going to make her do it, so we'll see. You'll see some updates on this. Does it get finished? Does it not get finished? Does she see it on the side? And does it spark her creativity again? So that's a wild card. I'll update you and see how we get on with that one. So we've got 4 garment projects. We've got 4/5 quilt projects. Now, the next couple of projects that I am going to share with you are a little bit more slower paced and a little bit more portable. Just so happens that it's not just sewing that I particularly enjoy. I enjoy many of another projects. So I have had this knitting project on my needle for a while. It is in the beautiful West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, and this is colour Amber. I'll link to the product. It's one of my needles poking up top. I'll link to this yarn below. It's really nice. It's actually a sock yarn, but I'm knitting a jumper in it, and I actually really, really like it. Now, I've got really sensitive skin, and it's not giving me any irritation when I've been trying it on, and it's very nearly finished. So this is the Tin Can Knits Flax Sweater. So there was a lady who used to work for me a while ago, Tracy. She absolutely raved about this pattern. She printed it off for me, and she was like, Sarah, you need to make this pattern. It's a top-down sweater with no sewing up. And I was a bit like, yeah, okay. Put it in my file, and when I was looking for a sweater pattern last year, I was like, oh, let's visit this one. So if you've not heard of Tin Can Knits before, they are great designers, and this particular pattern, the Flax Sweater, is a free download from their website. So again, I'll link to it below. And I'm doing the Flax Lite. So it comes in two versions. So the Flax, which is done in Aran weight yarn, and the Flax Lite, which I'm doing, which is done in a 4-ply yarn. It is such an easy breezy pattern to follow. You start with the neck and then knit all the way down, separate your sleeves off, carry on knitting your body, come down and do your rib, and then you pick the stitches back up again to do your sleeves. So you can see that I've done one sleeve, and all the sewing up you've got to do is just tying in your ends. That's it, you're doing it as you go. And then I am now working on my second sleeve here. And I've decided to use DPNs. Normally I would use circulars, but I wanted to challenge myself a little bit and master DPNs, and actually there isn't anything to it. I don't know why I was so concerned about using DPNs before. Actually really enjoy it. You've just got to make sure you don't lose your 5th needle, so I keep mine in the ball. So I'm working on that, and hopefully I'll get that sleeve finished this month. And so that's a knitting project. I'm only doing one knitting project. I'm not that quick. If you have been following us on social media or via our newsletter, you will know that this year we are doing a sew along, which is for the Tilda Embroidery Flower Quilt. So I'm also working on that. So another great portable project. So I have all of my squares cut and numbered, and I have my handy clipboard with my progress. So I've got lots of bits that need sewing together, so I kind of do it in blocks and then sew the blocks together. So I'm working on that as well. Now, I have got a bit of a ponder with this one, because we had a sample on loan in the shop and it looked absolutely stunning of the finished quilt, and it's had to go back, and we're really sad about it. So obviously this hand sewn one it's a whole year project, and I am thinking, do I put this to one side for the moment and go ahead and do the machine sewn one, so we've got another sample of it, and then pick this one up afterwards? And I'm really not sure. My heart says carry on with this one, but then for business practicalities it makes sense to use the squares that I've already cut and go ahead and get a machine sewn one done. So this is a bit of a ponder. Hopefully by the end of the month I would have made a firm decision, and you'll know which way we're going with that. If you haven't heard about the sew along, you can go onto Facebook and you can type in Tilda sew along, and it comes up, and we're in there once a month doing a live, and you can see everybody else's progress, which is absolutely wonderful. Loads of people have finished it already. They've been like eager beavers and enjoyed it that much, so maybe they're going to move on to the next design, which is exciting. So that is my hand sewn project, and then just for good measure, let's throw a 12th project in there, because, you know, why not? And we have got a crochet blanket. So this was in my ottoman. It is a Dune blanket, so an Attic 24 Dune blanket, and I obviously ran out of mocha, and I think what happened with this is there is continued stock issues with Starcraft yarn following the earthquakes out in Turkey, and I just don't think we could get any more, so I think that's why it went in the cupboard. Well, in the ottoman, and it has been left. So that's kind of a crochet project that I've got ongoing at the moment. Whether that gets any love or not 100% sure. We shall see. But I thought it was interesting to get like a little bit of all different projects. So we've got garments, we've got quilts, we've got knitting, we've got crochet, and we've got some hand sewing, because like I said earlier on, it depends what mood we're in, doesn't it? we have to be in the mood to do it, and what we need to do is have a variety for ourselves. So I know I've gone through a lot of projects. There's 12 projects, and I'm not going to complete all 12 projects this month. Some are just going to move along a little bit. Some I may pick up and go, we've still got no mocha in. Or like, I will also look at it and think, right, well, how much mocha do we have in? How much mocha is with the supplier in the country? Is it worth me taking mocha to finish this project when it's not desperate, or is it best for the mocha to stay available to our customers? So those are kind of like other elements that I will look at when I pick up certain projects, and to see what is the best need. Is your need greater than mine? And I will always endeavour to make sure that our customers are serviced ahead of anything that I need. So those are my 12 projects of this month. I do hope you're really going to enjoy this little mini series that we're putting together. Make sure you're following us on social media so you can see little updates. I'll try and do little bits of snippet content as we go along, and then come back to YouTube and check out my update at the end of the month, see how we've got on, and we can have a little bit of a look at what we're going to be working on next month. I hope you've really enjoyed this little insight into what is happening in my sewing room at the moment, and I can't wait to read your comments and see what's happening in your sewing world. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when the update to this video goes live.